How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be taking a look at HTML and going over some of the basics. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and programmers use it to define the structure of a web page. So in HTML, we have elements that are represented by tags that define the structure of the page. And what the browser does is translate those tags into the actual content. So let's jump right in and look at some basic HTML. So the first thing that we need to do is create an HTML file. So I'm in Visual Studio Code, so I'm going to go over here to the Explorer, right-click, and hit New File. Now you can name this file whatever you want, but it's convention to name the file at the root of your project index.html. And this is just convention, and it tells the browser that this is the home page of your project. So we're going to stick to that convention. All right, so next we can start looking at some of the different tags. So all the code in this HTML document will be wrapped in a tag that is called HTML. So the majority of tags are defined as such. We have a less than sign, the tag name, a greater than sign, and then we have whatever's inside the tag, and then we have a less than sign, a slash, the tag name again, and another greater than sign. And you'll notice that Visual Studio Code actually auto-completes it for me, which is a really nice feature. So that's our first tag, and that won't really do much for us. So the next tag we're going to look at is the head tag. So the head tag will not get rendered onto the screen, but it includes a lot of important things about the web page, such as the title, any SEO, anything like that. So that brings us to the next tag, which is the title tag. And inside the title tag, we can put in the title of the web page. So, for example, HTML tutorial. And if we run this in a browser, we'll be able to see this as the title. So let's actually do that. Since I'm in Visual Studio Code, I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to hit Open with Live Server. All right, there we go. We have our homepage here, and you'll notice it's port 127001, which is my local host, and you can see /index.html, which is the file name. All right, so the next tag is the body tag. Now the body tag is where all of the content of our page will be. All right, and that right there is the most basic HTML structure you're going to get. All right, so now that that's out of the way, let's jump into some of the common tags that you're going to see. So the first types of tags are heading tags. And these are to display important pieces of text. So maybe the title of the page, a subtitle, stuff like that. So for these tags, all we're going to do is H for heading, and then you'll see we have a couple different options, H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there are 6 different heading tags, and these are just different sizes. So we're going to use H1. And in here we can put whatever text we want. So we'll try heading 1. And you'll see it actually renders in real time in our browser. The next tag is an H2 tag. It's the same thing as an H1 tag, it's just a little smaller, as we can see. There you go. And we have the same with H3 all the way down to H6. So I'm not going to go over all of them, but you get the idea. And you'll notice that there's actually a little bit of padding around the text. So if you don't do any tag, it'll still work, but you'll see there's no padding, right? And this will just display them right next to each other. So that's why tags are useful. All right, enough with the heading tags. Next, we're going to look at another pretty basic tag, the paragraph tag. And that's just a P, and you can put any text in here. So we can say this is a paragraph. Boom, there it is. That's our paragraph. So we can pair those tags together. Maybe say H1 title, H3 subtitle, and paragraph. And you can see our web page is coming together a little bit. Now, another fundamental tag is the A tag. So say we want to link to Google, and when the user clicks on the text, it will bring us to Google. Well, you can do that with an A tag. And you'll see we get this href here. And what this is called is an attribute. So all tags have attributes that you can use with it, and they're just different things that go in the front tag here that do different things for the tag. So the A tag takes an attribute called href, and here we can write the URL of the site, so in our case, Google. And then in the text, we can say, go to Google. And then if we click it, all right, it'll say cannot get. That's because we forgot https:// Go to Google. There you go. Brings us to Google. Now we can wrap this A tag in, let's say, an H1 tag. So now we have a link, go to Google, but it is inside the H1 tag. And this will come in handy, wrapping tags inside each other. All right, now that we covered links, let's look at images. So the image tag is img, and just like the link tag took in an attribute, this takes in the src attribute and the alt attribute. So this is the alt text for the image, so if the image does not load in the screen, this text will show. And then the src is the path to that image, so the browser knows what image to display. So let's go grab an image. So I'm on Unsplash right now. This is a great place to find free, high quality images. So I'm going to search, let's just say cat image. Here we go. Let's grab this one. You can download it for free. I'm just gonna drag this right into my directory. We're just gonna rename this cat. All right, so now to link to that, we start with a slash, which means look in the current path, and then there it is, cat.jpg. And now the image will display on the screen, but you'll notice that it's really big, and that's because we're not giving it any attributes for width or height. So let's do that. All right, there we go. We gave it a width of 50 and a height of 50 pixels. That's a little small, let's make it a little larger. And there you go. That is a picture of our cat. And for the alt, we can put cat image. And if it can't find this photo, it will display this. So let's remove this T. Boom, there you go, cat image. Now before we go any further, I want to discuss comments in HTML. So comments are a great way in any programming language to write a little description of what that piece of code does. So if you come back later and look at it, or another programmer looks at it, you know what it's doing. So comments in HTML are pretty weird. It's a less than sign, exclamation point, dash dash, and then there you go. It all completed for me. But then you finish it by dash dash greater than sign. And then inside here we write, this is a comment. This will not render on the screen. You'll see if we do a P tag, paragraph tag, and write paragraph, we will see this. The comment is not rendered. All right, moving on to buttons. So we have the button tag, just button like this, and we can give it text. submit. There we go. This is the submit button. You're able to click it. But we can also define a button using the input tag, which is my preference in defining a button. So if you just do standard input, this is text input, so you can enter whatever you want from the keyboard. But if we give it type, not text, but submit, changes to a button. You'll see the name is submit, but we can give it a value of whatever we want. And that will change the text of it.